batting leadoff, and like literally, I come on, and this particular individual, she's going to crash the party. Like literally, I start talking, and she comes in. So we're just going to go ahead. We're not going to waste any time because her time is quite valuable. Good morning, Jess. How are you?
Good morning. I'm very proud that you're praising me for my punctuality. So thank you for that compliment this morning. And yeah, I can't believe it's MLS is back, right? It feels like I always say this, and I know it's cliche, John, but maybe you'll agree with me. It feels like it's been forever, but also no time at all. And it's such a weird space to find yourself in that when you hear, oh, you got 8 weeks off, well, I didn't really have 8 weeks off because then I got booked for World Sevens. And maybe that's why it feels like no time at all. But yeah, I'm just glad. I'm glad we have football. I'm glad we have soccer. I'm glad MLS is back. And yes, I'm very glad that I'll be calling games on Apple TV, which is
Uh,
wild.
yes, and your broadcast partner this season is.
I will be with Ian Joy,
Oh boy,
which I
that's
am
not, that's going to be a
extremely.
quiet booth. I'll tell you that right.
Yeah, I mean, there's going to be no energy in that booth at all. I adore Ian, great human. I had the chance to commentate one game with him last season. Actually, it was my first on-site game. We went to Chicago together and did Chicago, San Diego. Fun fact about that game, my flight to Chicago got diverted to Detroit. And then I landed in Chicago, the first time I've ever been to Chicago, at 5 a.m.
Mm-mm.
game day. And then because my flight got diverted because of the weather, it was terrible. And then I got very, very sick. So Ian Joy, the first time I met him, I was throwing up during the breaks in the commercials, but we still called a game. And Ian said from that moment, he said, Jess, that's when I knew you were a damn star, when you were able to get through the sickness, still commentate the game the way you did. You're a badass. There we go. We can get the explicit. You're a badass. You're going to speak to Casey tomorrow, and hopefully she'll
Oh no,
just say the same.
I talked to Casey yesterday.
Oh, she beat me. I thought she had the day after me.
No, she's got the day before you.
Oh, damn
She's
it, Kate.
always.
Well, I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet, but hopefully
Tuesdays.
she said the same as me. I am going to miss her so much. And I actually texted her yesterday. I was like, listen, it's not against Ian in any way. We got so used to traveling together. It was lovely to travel. Imagine you're getting paid to do a job that you adore with a friend. And we were basically getting paid to go to New York. We were getting paid, like, we were having the best time traveling. So I'm going to miss Case. She's going to do incredible with Christian. And I think that, John, I've always been very firm about the fact I don't just want to be like a good female play by play. I want to be just a good play by play.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, female representation is very, very important. And just the accessibility and the representation that, it doesn't matter if we're a woman, it doesn't matter if we're a man. If we're doing a good job, we can get a game. To have another crew by splitting us up, by having another crew that has female representation is really freaking cool. And Casey did the numbers, and it was pretty surreal. Out of 54 members of members of Apple TV on MLS on Apple TV team, I'm the only female play-by-play, and there's only I think 7 women. So it's pretty cool that we are 2 of those.
Well, and you guys are always the Wonder Twins here, so that's never going to change. I mean, that's always it's just that you're broken up, and Casey comes in Tuesdays at 10. So that's just so you know, Tuesday mornings at
Oh,
10.
wow, she's got a recurring date. That
Yeah.
is wow.
She's Tuesdays at 10, and so if
Well,
you
hey, do I get my agent? Do I get my agent fee for Casey?
I think so.
Yeah, okay. I'll take 7 juice boxes the next time I see you.
Absolutely. There we
Once
go.
they put Atlanta. Oh, did she talk about us patiently waiting our next 7 game assignments?
No.
Because we are patiently waiting, and I for match days 8 to 15. Because full disclosure, right now I don't have any Atlanta United games, so I'm patiently waiting for 8:15. There's a bunch of Wednesday games in that window. I'm
Mhm.
like, come on. Put me on a Wednesday in Atlanta. Put me on a Wednesday in Atlanta. So I'm keeping my fingers crossed.
Yeah, how long do we have you this morning, by the way?
Let's go until 20 minutes past. 10 more minutes of charm. 10
All
more
right.
minutes of charm.
All right. So in the 10 minutes of charm that we have you this morning, you get to take the pair of scissors and cut the ribbon on this season.
Oh, yeah. So fun fact, I didn't realize that until last week when I was looking at it. I just assumed that there would be another early kickoff or something. And then I looked, and it was because When you work for when anyone that's listened to an Apple TV broadcast for MLS knows that there's a lot of commercials, there's a lot of different reads, there's a lot of different components for a play-by-play. It's a lot of moving pieces. So obviously it's nice to watch someone else do it first to be like, okay, so this is where the player spotlight goes, this is where the blah 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 goes, this is what, well, that's not good, that's me, that's me. And I mean, when I figured I had like a moment of, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to like watch, and then I was like, oh my god, I am opening the seat, I'm going to say the 2026 MLS season is underway, and it's not just for these two teams, it's the entire season. So an incredible amount of trust on the part of Major League Soccer that they picked me to be able to do that. It's something that I've dreamed of doing. I'm going to treasure. And I think that with 2026 being such a marquee year for this sport in this country that I've called home for, what is it now, 13 years. Wow, 13
Mhm.
years. That's going to be really incredibly special. And you know what? I'm just going to read through my rundown 27 million times. Hopefully, our producer gets it to me on Friday. But I actually have three 2:30 p.m. kickoffs in a row. I mean, because I have Chicago match week 2, that's a 2:30 kickoff. And then I have a NYC game at Yankee Stadium, which I'm not American, but I know that's pretty cool that I'm going to be calling a game at Yankee Stadium. So
The
just like,
sight lines are awful.
yeah, oh, I'm not, I'm calling that game off a monitor. I know that already. I did the game at Citi Field on decision day with Casey, and it was cool. It's still cool being in the stadium and feeling it and being able to pick your head up a little bit for like big picture stuff. Um, but yeah, the good thing is I have a lot of experience, John Nelson, in calling a game off a monitor, so that won't throw me off too much.
Yes, concur. St. Louis, they are a team in transition
Yeah.
and in a bunch of different ways. New coach, Joao Klaus no longer there. He's with LAG. And there's a lot of storylines with All Caps SC as they prepare for Charlotte. So it's an interesting one that you get.
Oh, I think it's a really interesting game, mainly because St. Louis is just such an incredible soccer city when you look at the history of this team and you look at the first season they had and how remarkable it was that they topped the Western Conference. And then from there, it's been a bit of a plunge, right? It's been a downward
Mhm.
spiral. And I want to give you a shout out for a fantastic episode with the guys at Ball Watching. I have been enjoying and consuming their show. Uh, Secret, that's one of my favorite ways to prep, just because I think you get a fan's perspective. Obviously, I do all my numbers and all my research myself because I have trust issues with, not that they're not a reliable source, but if I'm going to lay on a number and die by my sword on the number, I'm going to make sure it's my number I pulled. But
Yep.
it just gets you the context of the feelings and the understanding, and just at the end of the day, my audience is fans, so why wouldn't I want to understand how the fans are feeling in this moment? So shout out to those guys. They dropped a new episode last night, so actually when I get off here, I'm gonna go for a walk with my dogs and I'm gonna listen to that. But I think with St. Louis, the Joao Klaus leaving is a huge part of it, or selling rather. Great business financially. I think that's important to note first. From a business standpoint, it does make sense, but from a soccer playing standpoint, not so much. Particularly, I know they're linked with the Venezuelan player, but I would assume he's not going to be ready for the Charlotte FC game right now. So the depth, it isn't there in the forward position. You've also lost a marquee player. Then you've got everything that Edouard Leuven is going through. What an amazing human being, by the way. Just listening to him to speak, and the transparency and everything that his wife is going through and he's going through as a human being, and to keep his faith, it is remarkable. So just a player that I think everyone should be rooting for. But at the end of the day, a reminder that soccer is just as, I know we talk about soccer being our lives and it's very important to us, but in the grand scheme of things, it is a sport, and our health and our family should be top of everything. So that's going to be an important storyline, how much he can feature, of course. And I think the club and the media are handling that very well with the support they're giving to him. I always look at goalkeepers, as you know, is Roman
Mhm.
Berkey designated player now? Is he going to live up to that title? He obviously couldn't keep fully fit last season, which I think was very costly. Roman Berkey has been an incredible goalkeeper throughout his career. He's been called upon a lot with St. Louis's defense last season and then was out injured. Is he going to look like a designated player goalkeeper, because that's I'm there for goalkeepers getting their money. I'm there for goalkeepers getting their tag. But to use a DP spot on a goalkeeper is very, very, very
That's brave.
brave and not heard of. So they want to make sure that they're rewarded with that. So I'll be watching Roman Berkey, and then just obviously DeMay coming in. We can ignore Celtic and Wilfred Nancy and the reputation he got there overseas, because people overseas, well,
Mm,
they will never.
mm,
It just gave people an idea to slag off. Can I
mm,
slag off? I haven't used that in a long time, but yeah, that's what they were doing. They were slagging off MLS, slagging off Wilfred Nancy.
mhm.
He's still a legend. I still think he's an amazing scholar. I love listening to him talk about the game. So for DeMay to have learned under someone like Wilfred Nancy, I'm excited to see what he can do. His principles seem very clear, that he wants to be a protagonist. I love how he used that word several times in the media, that he wants to be a protagonist, right foot forward. John, we can probably go an extra 5 minutes, by the way, just so you know.
Sure thing.
Protagonist. So yeah, just seeing it all transcribe on paper is going to be fascinating. But St. Louis needs goals, and they need to uh, strengthen their defense, and most importantly, they need their stadium to become a better stadium in terms of results, because the energy is incredible, looks beautiful on pictures. Can't wait to go there with 22,000 plus fans. Soccer specific stadiums just are so amazing to call a game from, because you're so much lower than the American football games. I am not team binocular. I've That's no disrespect to Jason and Maddie. I love that they are. I just can't. I get dizzy using, like, I've never been
I'm
able to use it in a game. I
I'm
just can't
I'm
do
team
it.
I am team bifocals. I am team
Yeah.
progressive lenses. I can't do
Yeah,
binoculars.
I can't do it. My contact lenses, my eyelashes, everything gets in the way, and then no. So to be in a soccer specific stadium as a commentator, I'm very excited for that. But they need to turn it into a fortress, because uh, I don't have I think they only had 4 wins last season, or something dire at home last season. I don't have my notes in front of me, but I remember seeing it and being like, oh, you're
Mhm.
not going to make the playoffs if you're not winning games at home.
And at the same time, you mentioned GK Union, and the flip side for the folks coming in, what you were talking about with all caps SC, kind of the same with Charlotte, because Christian Kalina has to stand on his head and be a warlock and
Hmm.
protect that back line there. And so it's it looks like the offense is there for Dean
I'm
Smith and
telling you, this game, if
Charlotte.
I like over under is just
Take
goals
the
scored, right?
over. Take the over.
Plus 4 at least goals, right? It just has that feeling about it. I mean, the only time these teams have ever played each other in MLS was 2023, and it was 3-1 St. Louis. I commentated that game with Willie P, your next guest. Look at me making plugs for you. There you go.
There you go.
You can ask Willie P about that game. But Enzo Capetti scored for Charlotte. We all thought they were going to pick up the victory, and then a Bill Tuiloma own goal, and then just catastrophic mistakes from Charlotte led to them losing 3-1. So I think this game has a knack for goals, honestly. Christian Kalina had a wake up call last year in
Mhm.
terms of getting pulled out the lineup and realizing that his place isn't guaranteed, but just a good human being, a fantastic goalkeeper, athletic, and just a good, like I said, a good human being. I've loved getting to know Christian Kalina to the extent that, these players from Charlotte have said well done to me. It's pretty cool, and I'm excited to say hi to them in person and commentate their game. Big thing though is Adilson Malanda, and Dean Smith has kind of kept his cards close to his chest. He's playing it cool, saying, "Look, I think we've done a great," and they might have done a good job of filling the cracks. But I still think you're filling the cracks. I watched the Minnesota preseason game and the goal that Minnesota scored. I mean, Adilson Malanda keeps up with that ball. Tim Ream doesn't. That's the nature of it. Tim Ream has had an illustrious career, and it's going to mean a lot to him, I'm sure, to go to St. Louis, to play in St. Louis, on a personal level, obviously. But he's still getting older every day, and the pace is going to drop off continually. And I do think Charlotte can be exposed in that manner. But where Charlotte can be good is Idan Toklamati just looks fantastic, and I love the way that he plays. I know Willie P will say that he can score goals in more diverse ways than maybe Patrick Arjaman used to challenge, even though Patrick has shown in England that he has worked on levels of his goal scoring as well. But Luca Della Torre is the signing I'm most excited about. Watched him in San Diego a couple of times last season for season pass. when it was season pass back then. Obviously now it's Apple TV.
Mhm.
No season pass, everybody. No more paywall. You will watch on MLS on Apple TV. I've got to get that word season pass like kicked out my
Yes.
brain. It's not easy.
Big piece of paper with a big red
Yes,
button through
just
it.
how I did when I commentated a Spokane game, making sure I put SPO-CAN, Spokane, not Spokane,
Mhm.
Spokane.
Okay.
I'm not afraid of having notes with very big writing to make sure I don't F anything up. But yeah, I think Luca Della Torre is going to upgrade this midfield. That's no disrespect to Brant Bronico, just his vision, his connectivity, and also just having depth in the midfield as well. Because as we know, with the World Cup and the long break, it's going to be a steamroller in the before and the afters of the season. So having that squad depth is going to be huge as well.
Jess Charman, half of the Wonder Twins, with Ian Joy, who I guess turns into an honorary Wonder Twin, or maybe he's the third Musketeer. We got to figure out what Ian's handle is going to be this season. You can come in on Wednesdays at 9:05 if you want to.
Yeah, I mean, when I can, I will. You know that. When I can, I will. This isn't a dig at Casey. I just have a 5-year-old obstacle that is a little bit more difficult than her
And
doggage.
Owen.
I mean,
So
she's got her dogs. She got her dog. But yes, it's a little bit tougher to work around that little rascal schedule. But and also Atlanta schools, how are you going to plan winter break the week of the MLS season? I mean, out of all the times I need her to be in school, now is the time. But
this is what
alas.
I'm saying. It's like you got to get the schools to orchestrate this. You got to be in
Yeah.
line with the MLS schedule.
In line with the World Cup schedule. I mean, oh, it will be in line. That'll
Oh,
be summer holidays, won't it? Oh, goodness
mhm.
gracious.
Yes. As always, it's great to hear your voice, and it's going to be great to see you and Ian there. And if you could pick me up a pink scarf and enjoy the food, with everything that I have sent you about that
Yes.
particular section of town, you will be well versed in
Am
every.
I going to get my selfie with the arch? That's the most important thing, right? I've got to
Absolutely.
get my picture with the arch.
Mhm.
That's the coolest thing about being on site this year. Like I've said, just the amazing cities. I mean, I've got St. Louis, Chicago, New York City twice, Montreal, Kansas City, and New England. So I mean, I'm getting my air miles in, and I'm getting to visit some really cool places. So I mean, it's a pinch me moment, and I am looking forward to seeing where I go weeks 8 to 15, and selfishly keeping my fingers crossed for a reunion in the Mercedes-Benz press box. And your food in the press box is pretty darn good, so I'm okay with that as well.
Food's pretty darn good in St. Louis. Go and spend time with the youngins, and then get your conference calls in, and we'll be getting all the report cards from you from St. Louis, with St. Louis and Charlotte kicking off the 26 season. It's great to catch up with you, my friend. We'll see you soon.
2:30 p.m. You guys don't have anything else to do. Listen and cheer for me because this is a big deal. All right. Love you. Have a good one.
Love you. Bye. There goes Jess.